Recall that in part 1 of this tutorial, I created numerous quiz items and uploaded them to a Brightspace shell using the Respondus tool. This tutorial shows the next part of the process, how to subdivide the quiz into separate sections and how to adjust the value of the quiz items. Let's re-examine the structure that I want. This Word document summarizes the structure of the quiz. Section 1 consists of 8 multiple choice items, a matching question, and an ordering question. We will shuffle the order of the 8 multiple choice items, so these will have their own section. The 2 remaining objective items will be presented as is and not shuffled, so they will have their own quiz section. I will call it Section 1 Continued. Section 2 consists of 4 essay type items, and these will be presented in random order, so this will have its own quiz section. Section 3 is the complicated part, where we needed to offer a choice of doing 2 out of 3 items. Recall that the workaround was to present all 3 items as one question, which would have 1 blank space, and then to provide another question item whose only purpose is to provide a blank space for the second choice. This will be a quiz section 2. This Word document, besides reminding me of the structure of the exam, will also furnish the text for the sections and for the instructions. Instead of typing the content directly in the text boxes in Brightspace, I will copy and paste from a document I have already prepared, which is my usual approach. I have returned to Brightspace, and you can see the quiz, which has already been uploaded. I will click on it to open it. And you can now see the items as well as other options. At the moment, the quiz is all in one part. When I am done, I will have separated it into 4 parts. 2 for the objective items, 1 section for the 4 required essay questions, and 1 section for the part with choice. But first, I need to scroll back up. You create quiz sections using the same tool for adding and editing questions. So I click this item. All of the items are listed here. If I click any item, it will open for editing. There are 2 jobs I need to do next. First, I want to ensure that each of the essay items has enough space for an answer. The default is generally only about 1 line, but most of the items will need a box big enough for a paragraph or so. The last 3 items will need even more space. Second, I want to edit the value of the items. Right now, they default to 1 point each. That is not correct. I will start with item 11, which is the first essay type item. And now the item is open for editing. This description was automatically added based on the first few words of the question. I can edit it if need be. Here's the question. Notice that I can add a more powerful editor, as well as enable the addition of images if need be. In most cases, there's no need for that in the response section. This part needs to be fixed, though. 1 line is not enough room. There are other options available to me. I will choose About a Paragraph. Now, I need to fix the value of the question. This item is worth 3 points, so I have changed the value from 1 to 3. I will quickly do the same for the next 3 items. In each case, I will make the text box for the answer larger and will change the value of the item from 1 point to 3 points. The last 2 quiz items comprise the section of the exam where students are given choice. These will need work too. Notice that all 3 choices are here in this question area. Because we expect a longer essay for the answer to these items, we will have to open up a bigger text box. This time, the space for just 1 paragraph won't do. So, I go with the biggest box. It's worth noting at this point that even if I fail to change the size of the text box, the students can still write as much as they want. All I am doing here is making the text entry box larger so they can see more of their work at once. And I change the value of the item. The questions in this section are worth 4 points. And I will do much the same for the last item. Recall that this item is simply a placeholder for the second choice. The actual question is in the previous item. And once again, I make the box larger. And I set the point value. And so now, the quiz items are good. Now, it's time to divide the quiz into sections. I click the Add button. And I choose Add Section. At this point, I have to give the section a title, and I can add extra text if I want to. That is a good place to give instructions to the students. You may recall from the start of this tutorial that I already have that information prepared in a Word document. I will complete those parts using copy and paste. I will grab the Section 1 title from here, and I will copy it using Ctrl-C. And I go back to Brightspace and paste it using Ctrl-V. And I will do the same for the section text. And back to Brightspace and paste the text in the box. I leave this unchecked as I want the students to see this. Now, look at this item. Here is where I decide whether to present the items in the order I have entered them, as per the Word document, or if the system is to present the items in random order. Since I want the multiple choice items presented in random order, I will check this box. That section is ready, so I will also click Save. And now, Section 1 is pretty much ready. Right now, it's in the wrong place at the end of the quiz, but I will fix that shortly. I want to get all of the sections ready first. Then I will put them in place. I will click Add. And once again, choose Section. This section consists of only the last 2 objective items, specifically the matching item and the ordering item. I will simply type the title this time and click Save. While this is a section as far as Brightspace is concerned, from my organization it is still part of the objectives, so I am referring to it as Section 1 Continued and not Section 2. This time I am not clicking Shuffle, so those 2 items will appear in the order I created them. Now I will do section 2, which is the first 4 of the essay items. Once again, I click Section. I will copy the title from the Word document, and I will paste it into Brightspace, as you can see. Now I will get the section text from the Word document and paste it into Brightspace. I want to shuffle the 4 questions in this section. So I will click the box next to Shuffle and will then click Save. And now for the last section. This is the one with choice. I will click Add one last time and choose New Section. And once again, I will get the text for the title as well as the instructions from the Word document and paste them in the appropriate places. I do not want to shuffle the questions, so that box is left unchecked. I click Save when done. So now we have the sections created. Unfortunately, they are all in the wrong place at the end of the quiz. There's an easy fix. We simply drag the sections to where they belong. So I put the cursor right to the left of section 1 and it becomes draggable. In this way, I move it to the top of the quiz. Now I do the same for the second part of the objectives. And I will drag what I call section 1 continued into place. I'll drop it right here after question 8. Now for section 2, the first of the essay questions. And I drag it right here after question 10. And finally, section 3. I drag it just above question 15. Now, all of the sections are in place. Let's take one quick last look to make sure it's all correct. Section 1, Part 1 covers questions 1 to 8, and Section 1 Continued covers questions 9 and 10. Section 2 covers the next 4 essay questions, and Section 3 covers the last 2 items, which is really a choice of 2 out of 3. Now that I've verified the structure is okay, I click here to go back to the settings for the quiz. And now I am back to the settings. The quiz is almost ready. In tutorial 1, I created the items using Word and uploaded the items to Brightspace using Respondus. In this tutorial, I adjusted the text box sizes for the essay items and altered the values, as well as created the section structure for the quiz. All that's left to do is adjust the settings to make the quiz available when needed and for the appropriate time. That will be done in tutorial 3.